Adrian, it's me, Rocky.
Back to Rocky Start, we are going to analyze 5 random starting locations of Civilization 6. So let's start creating our game. Random leader, always. We're going to put it onto deity. We always use Sucretax Oceans, always on continents, and we're going to use the standard map set. So let's go ahead. Big money, big money, big money. Who will be our first civilization? Spain. Love playing as Spain. Although they are most fun, in my opinion, to play on a Terra map. So we got the boost for astrology for the, I don't even want to try pronouncing that, but it's, I believe, an Icelandic volcano. And I would probably burn a turn here just to get even closer to it. Obviously spawning next to a wonder is great. But yeah, I am going to burn that turn. I'm actually going to burn a second turn to settle here. So let's go ahead and do that because, oh, even that one. No, we're going to go for that early culture over the production. We're going to get an extra production here. This will be the first working tile. This will be the second, obviously. Let's just see what we can see here on our second turn. Strange northern location here. We get the air score for that. I imagine the culture. Yeah, you can see we're already generating 3.2. So they've gone for that. Now, you have to kind of pay attention because they might give you this one. But the early pop, obviously, you're going to be wanting to work that once you get that first pop. Even if you have, let's say you don't get the first culture pop here. I don't see why it would go anywhere else, maybe here, but you can even spend some money and you can get a good momentum going from that, working these 2 tiles. You'll obviously get your horseback riding boost, which is nice. And you know, games where I've played where I've been able to found my first city next to a wonder, they never really go that well. I always feel like, oh my gosh, I'm so lucky, get this head start, but I always feel like the AI gets even a better head start. I'm gonna give this kind of like a 3.5. Obviously, settling next to a wonder gives you like a full head of steam. It's not the greatest wonder in the world, but it's still a wonder, and obviously you're getting this nice little culture boost in tiles that are, let's be honest, marginal. So sometimes when I'm a civilization like Spain and I spawn next to tundra, I kind of, first thing in my mind is like, oh, maybe I want to restart to get better starting terrain. This kind of cancels that feeling out. And obviously there looks like there's good terrain here, and this could, I mean, if this is just all mountains, then obviously this would be able to, yeah, you wouldn't be able to actually settle there now. Maybe you'll be able to pass through here and use these mountains for great holy sites. Obviously, as Spain, you want to work really hard if you can to try and get a religion because of the bonuses you'll get from having your religious units next to your conquistadors when you finally decide to do all that conquering. Yeah, giving it a 3.5. This is solid, looks playable, fun, not an insta restart, obviously. Let's go on to civilization number 2. Mvemba and Zinga. No religion to worry about. I haven't played these guys in a long time. Search for relics, eh? Okay. I don't like settling next to mountains. Not the world's finest start. I feel like I got a Mvemba and Zinga start in one of my earlier Rocky Start videos, and it was absolutely the worst. I think I might settle here. You lose a turn though. But just being able to get closer to that, you know me, I don't like taking 2 turns to get somewhere. Is this a hills tile? It's just grassland. You know what? I'm gonna go right here. That's gonna be a good first working tile. Obviously, yeah, there you go. All that extra gold. This is gonna be like, I guess you can't build holy sites, but it could be a good campus. You're gonna be able to get good production and aqueduct. Those don't look like floodable tiles. You know what? Definitely better than the... I remember the start I had with them in the previous video, and it was awful. It was just an instant restart. This one's not so bad. Gonna give it a 3 on 5. Probably have a good fun game with it. You seem to be obviously far from ocean here. And... I mean... Obviously, it depends on who you run into. First 5 to 10 turns of a game, like, I don't know, imagine you get like Robes of the Evangelist or whatever, the Shroud of Turin and some goody hut, and this game could spiral out of control because of what they can do with their relics. And obviously, if you meet... Who is it that gives you a relic every time? I think it's a candy if you discover a natural wonder and you're their suzerain. Anyway, obviously, you're going to be searching for relics. And yeah, but... This is a very like average start. 3 on 5. All right. Next up. Ooh, the Khmer, a very fun civilization to play as. Very different play style. Obviously, this is not the world's finest start, especially when you see something like Tundra. This obviously you're going to want to have to clear. I wish this had spawned like right here instead to get that first look around to see if this is worth moving into or even here. But as things stand, you'll never know. So, you know what? I'm gonna burn a turn. I'm gonna see if there's a hill here. Obviously there's a river here, but if there's another mountain tile here, it's problematic. Oh boy. So this now prompts the, can I even try to go for the pyramids kind of start? Because obviously you want to chop this out. So it's kind of like, plus you're getting all this marble. I mean, going for the pyramids I don't think is ever worth it. Although this is one of those starts where I might be like, oh, today's the day. Obviously, you got some desert here where you're going to be looking for your second city to probably set up a Petra city. Overall, because of who this is a pretty short river. You want to make sure that you have more rivers to be in fertile land when you're the Khmer. I'm going to give this less than a 3. It's like a less than average start. Hard to give it be as hard as say like it's a 2. Maybe it's like a just 2.5. But this I imagine being a hard slog until you find good land that you want to use. But you're going to want to knock this out probably early to get your first holy site up because you want to prioritize getting a religion with them. In fact, I would say that's your first goal, is to knock this out, get your holy site up. Hopefully with this guy or your first scout, you find a natural wonder to get that boost for astrology, get your holy site up, and then hopefully find a nice long river somewhere else. So this idea of going for the pyramids, just forget it. It's tempting because you got the desert tile here. But no, think about getting your second city in a Petra city in this probably sizable desert and making sure that this is a kick-ass holy site. And yeah, definitely not as good as the Mbemba and Zinga start and the Spain start, which I think beat this one out. So let's go number 4. Alexander. Oof. Very, very, very fun civ to play. Especially if you plan to be at war. Hopefully we get something with like a lot of good production. Okay. Mountainous terrain. Let's see what we can get here. Tough call. I might say burn a turn. Go here. This is going to be great production early on. Plus, you'll have this. So we're gonna settle over this guy. Be interesting to see what the first working tile is. Beautiful rivers along here for presumably good production, or yeah, to build like aqueducts and stuff and industrial zones eventually. So let's go to turn 2. Let's just see what we can find. Goody huts. There's obviously some kind of desert up here. Now, bets. They'll probably give this as the first working tile, but at least it'll be an early... See, part of me almost wants to burn another turn and just go here, but then you lose out because these are not as productive. So my first tile that... Let's say they give you this as your first working tile, because it's 2 and 2, but you get the extra gold here. I'm going to prioritize the production. Let's see what they choose. Production or gold. They obviously chose production because it's only 5. That makes sense. But you should be able to get decent momentum with these guys. Get out a nice early army. I might even dispense with the scout and like not even worry about it and put together some kind of army that can do some early damage, because you want to just stay at war, get your barracks is up, or even what are they called, encampments. You get your encampments up, get your barracks up, prioritize getting an early great general, get your unique units in the classical era, that'll probably happen, and then just go on a tear. You should be tough enough with good early production, and obviously use your early units. Don't worry about starting a war. Just if you can snag a rival settler, like if Pella is the only city that you found yourself, that's okay, but make sure you get that army up and running and ready to kick some butt. All right, last one. Hungary, one of my favorite civilizations. Obviously you want to make use of levying city-states. No, this always scares me. The line of tundra didn't get the continental divide boost, which is strange if you're Hungary, because usually they end up by a continental divide. Now, we're going to go explore. Now, this might seem like a weird move. Oh, actually, wait. No, I'm going to choose here. The reason why I'm choosing here is because this is forward thinking. Now they get a production boost to districts that are across the river from your capital. And so you're going to knock off, does it say if I click on my guy here? Plus 50% production to districts and buildings constructed across the river from a city center. So the amount of production you're going to save just by deciding to settle here, which isn't the greatest tile, with not the greatest tiles around. So obviously you're going to want your campus here. Here you're going to want other stuff that's probably like, if you're one of those people that is obsessed with map tax, kind of like, what would you want? Entertainment complex, cultural, what do they call that? Theater square here. And then maybe you get your aqueduct or dam, probably a dam, aqueduct, industrial zone. And then who knows what you can put here. Like you can make some really interesting squares, and the amount of production you're going to save on your districts here is huge. Huge. This is a pretty good start, actually. This is the kind of start you want as Hungary. And you can be sure that you're not going to have rivals up here. So this is going to be kind of like free territory beyond this mountain. So you're going to want to sort of forward settle in this direction. And obviously you hope that you meet a city-state early on, take suzerainty over them, levy their troops, and take out your nearest neighbor. I'm going to give this I'm going to give it a 4 on 10. You're going to get a good campus, really, really good campus. Whew. Next to here with good adjacency and the production. So this is, if you were any other civ, I might say this isn't the greatest start. I might bump it down to a 3 or 3.5. But with Hungary, this looks juicy. Very, very juicy. Maybe a slow burn, but if you can get that second city out kind of quickly, you'll start to feel your momentum build and build and build, even if it's a little bit slower. All right,